Clean, declutter and organise my office continued, because in my last video, what started as a quick tidy up of a few drawers turned into full-blown destructive decluttering. I ended up pulling everything out, cleaning behind furniture, doing a deep sort out that honestly was well overdue, as it hadn't been done properly since my big office makeover over a year ago. So today I'm dealing with the aftermath. The lounge is full of boxes and baskets that all need sorting and organising and putting away. So come along with me as I tackle the chaos, do a bit more cleaning and finally get everything back in place. And by the end, I'll show you a little tour of what I've been doing and what I have decluttered. If you're new around here, hi, my name's Rhiannon Morgan. Everyone calls me Rhi. If you love decluttering, organising, cleaning content, plus real life chats about mum life and a neurospicy household, you are in the right place. Make sure you grab my Clutter-Free checklist, which is a free printable download, by going to mummyof4.com/declutter. Now let's get on with it. I am going to do what I always do at the beginning of a little declutter or clean or anything, and put one of my, not an AirPod because it's a fake AirPod, but it's pink, so it's pretty, AirPods in, just one of them, mind you, so I can still listen out for the children, the phone, all the things, and I can switch them when they go flat. And I'm going to listen to something, a podcast, an audiobook, whatever, and then get on with what we are doing. So we're going to go to my decluttering workbook. And honestly, yesterday I said this was going to take up to 2 hours. And then I went a bit mad. Let's put on my indoor trainers because I believe that they give me magic powers to keep moving. And let's deal with all this. This wasn't supposed to happen, but never mind. Let's move on. We've got my baskets, which I use for all of my sorting and decluttering, as well as laundry. The top tip with baskets has got to be just pick one sort of basket and only have that type of basket, so they all stack in one place. The office isn't looking too bad. We have got little bits of empty space now that we can put things back into. Quite a lot of empty space actually, luckily, because there's still all of this to go through. Anyway, what was I saying about baskets before we just went and talked about that? The baskets. I use them, if you've seen my other videos, for packing, obviously decluttering, cleaning, just moving things room to room. Often I will just give the kids a basket each and be like, here's your laundry, go pop it away. Or here are things I gathered of yours from around the house, please take them upstairs. And there is a basket and it's all together. So today I'm just using them to categorize. Do I want to chuck this? Do I want to recycle this? Do I want to sort this? Do I want to store this? And if you have got my decluttering workbook, which I will link below to work through, if you're doing your own decluttering, you can see there is space in there to decide what you're going to do with various things as you're decluttering. Now, most of this stuff is papers and paper type items that I'm going through right now. But what I was saying about baskets, as I keep getting distracted, can you tell I have ADHD, by the way? What I was saying about baskets is the mistake I used to make with baskets in the last house. I had lots of different types. I'd see a different basket and I think, oh, that's pretty, I'll get that. And I had round ones and I had square ones. And you know what they say about square pegs and round holes? They don't all stack together. Whereas these baskets are just one type and they all slot in one stack, so they're so easy to stack. Now what you can see I'm doing here is taking photographs of things that are in papers, because this is actually a workbook I had at an event I went to. Now, I don't need to store this physical paper forever, but I might want the information that's inside it. So I'm just taking photographs of it. I'm going to store all of the photos, not just on my camera roll, because I'll never look at them again there, but inside a note on my phone. And by adding, and just the Notes app, by the way, the normal Notes app on my iPhone. And then when you do that, you can actually just bin, as in shred and recycle the actual paper. I'm doing that with so many different things. The same with some of the children's drawings and things. And it's really hard, isn't it, with things like the drawings that your children have done for you. You want to keep them forever and you want to treasure them because they put love into them. But equally, if you've got children that love doing art and drawing and draw every single day like my girls do, if you kept every single piece of paper that your child ever put pen to paper and drew on, you would be drowning in paper. You wouldn't be able to move in your entire house. So we've got something called an art stream, which is just a photo stream, a shared photo stream on our iPhone devices and things, a family shared photo stream I've invited everyone to. and I take photos of things and I add them to there. And that way you can set a photo stream as a screensaver or something. And that way you can display the art on the TV or on an iPad or wherever, or you could perhaps put them on an actual digital photo frame to cycle through, and that would be cute. So I'm taking lots of photos now of documents. So art is one thing you can take photos of, and then you can recycle the paper, but also documents. So things like, I don't know, credit card statements that ultimately you want to shred and get rid of. I mean, the ultimate hack is to switch everything to digital anyway, so the paper doesn't come into the house in the first place. And if you can go through every bank and credit card and anyone else that ever sends you paper and opt into digital only, you're onto a winner there, because you're not having this paper come into the house in the first place and then it's not building up. Things that do have to get stored, I do like those little popper folders. You just saw very quickly there, I stick little labels on the corner, and I'll show you later how I file those. But basically some things do need filing for a period, if not forever, and that's how I do it. Look how much stuff there is to go through still. Oh, I don't want to do this right now. I really don't. I wish I'd finished it yesterday, but hey ho. We are at the stage now where we're starting to put things back, which is quite satisfying. I mean, yesterday when I totally emptied the office and you couldn't see the floor at all in the living room, that was like, oh, what have I done? And that's what destructive decluttering is really. It's when you make a huge mess. But the reason I do that is to hack my own ADHD. I've talked about this before. And it's to make myself do stuff that otherwise I will get bored and wander off. So if it was just one drawer, if I just emptied one drawer and I intended to do 5 and I got bored after that one drawer, I could close the drawer and there would be no consequences for me not continuing. I would have tidied one drawer, but the other 4 drawers would remain disorganized rather, untidied, not yet decluttered, so just cluttered, I suppose. And there'd be no consequences because I'd shut the drawers and everything would look fine. But when I do destructive decluttering and I pull everything out, when I hit the stage where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, I have to keep going. Yesterday, to be fair to me, I only stopped because I had to physically go and get my children from school, and then they had activities all weekend, not all evening, not all weekend. What am I even talking about? All evening, they had activities all evening. So we are doing day 2 of this now, and it is down to sort of the nitty gritty. Sometimes the nitty gritty stuff is harder to sort. Sometimes when you do the beginning parts of declutter, you can see the results quite quickly and things move quite quickly, and it's quite easy to know what to chuck out. It's when you're down to the like itty bitty things of random stuff, like where does it go, that it's quite frustrating. So I've got those 2 folders at the moment. Now there were loads and loads of folders there, by the way. This little unit thing was totally overflowing. But those 2 folders I need because I've got a meeting with my accountants. They're last year's, some of them receipts. And to be fair, most of the receipts are digital. Those couple of folders. So there's only a few folders out at the moment, and then the rest are in filing, so that's good. We're now going to go through these boxes, which are IKEA boxes. All those things in that box there are hard drives. One of the things about my job, obviously, I have a lot of hard drives with a lot of footage and edited. They're called Final Cut Pros, the software I use, and they're stored in libraries. And I have hard drives and I have backups of those hard drives, because I heard somewhere before that if you have one copy, then actually you have 0 copies, and if you have 1 copy and 1 backup copy, you have 1 copy, because in essence, without a backup, if at any stage you could lose your data. So that's just worth remembering, I suppose. If you're not backing up, maybe you're not like making videos like I am, but if you're not backing up your phone or your photos or whatever, then that's something to put on your to-do list. It's well worth doing. I do try and back up digitally as well wherever I can, but obviously we're talking large quantities of footage, which I've got so many blinking hard drives. Now, all of these things I'm going through are lanyards and passes. Some of them are previous lanyards and passes from when we were Disneyland Paris pass holders, but then if we're going to go there again, we'll need those things, as in the lanyards and the lanyard holder things. Oh, still so much stuff. But then also we've got our Merlin annual passes, and they need to be kept together and separate and kind of ready to go and pack at any given time. Now, we are going to start moving some stuff back into the office and give things new homes, because decluttering is about slimming down for me what I've physically got, but it's also about regrouping things and putting things in places where they are sensible to use. So for example, this cupboard is behind me. It's not next to my desk. And yet I had things in there that I was using every flipping day, which is silly. Now, these are planners. They're planner stock from my planner store. I have a planner store. If you're looking for travel planners or daily planners, all that kind of thing, you can check that out, and I'll link all that below. But basically what I'm trying to say is sometimes you've got things you don't use loads, and that's in your immediate space, like I had stuff I didn't use all the time in that drawer right next to me. I've now got that empty box. Look at that, it's empty. It's so exciting. Anyway, yeah, the stuff next to you in the spaces you use all the time. So maybe this is the top drawer of your dressing table or your bedside drawer. That's not the place to be storing stuff that you use once a year or never. That's not the place. If there is something you use occasionally, it needs to go in somewhere that's slightly more difficult to get to. And the only stuff you need in your immediate space is stuff you use all the time, stuff you reach for every day. And I had so much in that 5 drawer chest of drawers things next to me that I just never use. So like I've got one particular camera and a lens that I barely use, I'm considering selling, and that was living in those drawers right next to me, and that's really silly. So I'm part of this whole exercise is obviously getting rid of stuff, but the other thing I want to do is just make sure everything is stored like with like, so I've not got random things in random places. That being said, I know I have got some hard drives in the drawers next to me and some in another place, but those are different for reasons, as in current and to be stored. This is another example of my little filing system. Look, I just put these little stickers, they're like labeling stickers for envelopes or something, and then I just stick those on those popper folders and they just get filed alphabetically like that. It works, and then you can pull one folder out. It's just so easy to use. So I've just got a couple of boxes of those. On another day, I do need to go through all that and slim it down a bit. And I need to go through that entire Calyx unit as well. But do you know what? I'm quite proud of what I've managed to do and what I've managed to do in this. It was supposed to be 2 hours, guys. This was supposed to take me 2 flipping hours. But it didn't take me 2 hours. It's taking me best part of a day and but then another few hours after that. But do you know what? I'm proud of what I've done. That was just my decluttering workbook, by the way. I was looking at what I've managed to declutter, which I'm going to show you at the end. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to show you exactly what I want to declutter and what I need to do next. So we'll talk all about that in a second. But first, before we have a chat and I show you what I've decluttered and all that stuff, I'm going to do some vacuuming, because when you tip everything out, lots of little itty bitty things. There'll be like a random bit of confetti and just crumbs of not even food. I don't know, just I guess dust and just muck. Anyway, you've tip anything out. So I like to push the vacuum over the area I've used for decluttering. I did fully vacuum my office yesterday. If you saw that video, I was pulling everything out. I cleaned the floors. I cleaned the skirting boards. I cleaned. However, I have been just moving stuff all around. So we're just going to push the vacuum clean over just so that we've done like a final clean. I'm also going to just clean this area because this is by the back door. And what tends to happen here is there's lots of like muck from going in and out of the back door. And also just those little like blue things. What are they called? I can never remember what they're called. I put them in the washing machine. Scent boosters. Those just end up all over the floor as well. So I'm just going to clean this little area. This is my laundry room area, which is next to, well, it's just sort of in the other side of a divider from my office. So what always astounds me is you can vacuum a rug, but it's not really clean, because if you then flip it over and vacuum the back, it kind of agitates all of the rest of the dust and the dirt out of it. And if you pick this up, so I've vacuumed the front, and then by vacuuming the back, that much dust, I'm not sure if you can see, but that's really bad, sort of got bashed out of the rug. So ultimately, the best way I've found anyway to clean a rug is to vacuum the top, flip it over, vacuum the back, which sucks up a little bit, but ultimately just, say, bashes all the dust out the rest of it, and then flip it over, and once you've cleaned the floor to get obviously the dusty bits you've agitated out of it up, and then do the top again, which is a bit long-winded, but seems to be the only way to really get it clean. And now we can just put them back. These are little mats. These are actually machine washable. They are super handy. I use these. We've actually got a couple of back doors because we've got the ones in the dining room. And I guess this is a side door, not a back door, but you can access the garden from this door in my laundry room. And then as we're just making sure this place is super clean, I have pressed up on my walking desk, my sit-stand desk, so that it's easy to get under there. Got my walking pad under there, but all of that was really cleaned all around in the corner yesterday. So I'm just going to make sure that there are no dust, crumbs. And when I say crumbs, I don't mean food. I just mean like little bits of stuff that I don't know how much dirt, like how so much dirt gets in our house, to be honest, because we don't wear shoes in the house unless they're indoor shoes. I've got indoor trainers because I have a walking pad. We only eat in the kitchen and dining room, and yet still so much dust and stuff manages to find itself around the house. So that's the office. I'm going to press down on my sit-stand desk now and we can have a little chat. It took so much longer than I was planning for it to take, but equally I did so much more than I was planning to do. And what was supposed to just be a quick empty one or two drawers has turned into a bit of a deep clean. Now I have not tackled everything because I've not tackled this big unit behind me, and that's definitely going to be a job for another day because I've got stuff I need to be getting on with, the stuff I had planned for yesterday afternoon and this morning. But I am really pleased with what I've done. So let me show you what I've done, what I've organised and what I'm throwing away. So this is my new freshly organised office that on the surface doesn't look loads different, other than there used to be a whole load of stuff stacked here, and I've now got that as another work space. Let's just kind of start here and wander around, I suppose. I did have my bag thing there, my travel laptop bag. I've just popped that under there because I feel these boxes are a little bit neater there. All this is now clear. I have left all of my clipboards because I use those in the same way that people might use a whiteboard, and you can pick them up and take them down. These are all my ongoing projects and I just move them along. This helps my ADHD brain know what I'm working on, by the way. All of this was absolutely chock-a-block. That's mostly clear now. I have got my Organised Life binder. Organised Life binder? I can't speak. I have got my Organised Life binder there ready to grab. Even that's been decluttered a little. And I got a totally empty box, guys. It's very exciting. The drawers are so much more organised. So I've got a tissue box in here now. That used to be up there. I don't know. I seem to have a cold in the winter and hay fever in the summer. So I need tissues all year round. Spare pens, glasses, but it's like personal stuff up there. And then this is more planners and things and some stationery. Then on to more kind of me specific stuff. These are all hard drives, my camera, some more solid state drives. This is just all for storing like editing and stuff. These are SD cards in there and more organised cords and wires. I've thrown so many cords and wires away. I will show you at the end. These are cords and wires I actually use because my laptop and my computer now only have the USB-C connection, not the normal USB. I had all these cords that don't actually work on my computer at all. Batteries and things, a lot of the batteries are already in my travel case, was going away soon. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. There's a sewing kit back there as well. Then in the bottom drawer, these are travel vlogging pouches and things where I keep all my, what they're called, camera, battery type things. I'll show you this kind of stuff, like battery handles, battery packs, extra camera battery, lots of batteries really. But that will go into there or into my day bag when I go out and I'm filming out of the house. But that is there, easy to access. More cameras in there. So those drawers are so much clearer and now not full of a whole bunch of junk that I don't use. All of this was pulled out and cleaned out because I clean in here, but I haven't pulled everything out for a while and it was stinking. So that used to be over there. That lives there now. The shredder, all that was really dusty because I haven't pulled it all out. That's like a cushion thing that goes under my feet when I'm working at my desk. That you either put your feet on, or I guess this is an ADHD thing, needed to like fiddle and move all the time. But yeah, that's when I am sitting at my desk. Of course, a lot of the time you see my standing desk goes up and down. I've got my walking pad under there. Honestly, getting this walking desk, the standing desk, the up and down desk and treadmill has been such a game changer for my health. I know I've talked about this in vlogs previously, but when I made this switch, it's made such a difference. The amount of steps I can now get in, I can fit exercise in without having to sacrifice working. Absolute game changer. I will link the walking pad that I have, because you could just use a walking pad while watching TV. That would make such a difference. But definitely if you work at a desk, cannot recommend this setup enough. All of that was pulled out and cleaned. I haven't pulled all that out properly and cleaned it in ages. Behind that corner, the wall is still a bit damaged from when we had that leak from the boiler. Do you remember? Do you remember the waterfall that came out of the boiler? Honestly, behind there needs painting, but I can't see it. You can't see it. Do we care about painting that right now? Probably not. I'm never going to paint it. My husband's he's a builder. He does all the kind of DIY-ish things around the house the same way. I don't watch him do stuff on the computer. I'm like, for goodness sake, just let me help you. It'd be so much quicker. So if he feels like doing that, I don't know, it's not urgent. We'll have to pull everything back out again. It's not bothering me. In here, in this little cupboard, this used to just be just random cameras and stuff shoved in there. It's now these neatly stacked boxes, which are all organised. And that is a GoPro bag full of camera accessories as well. But at least it's easy to pull out and see what I've got. I have moved that wax burner thing, which is on a smart switch, which I can control from my phone, so there's no flames or anything. But I've moved that from there. I think that was over there. And then here in this corner, we've now got, these are like printable sheets of things that I use all the time. And they are just organised into like Polly pockets. So they are there for me to grab things like the temperature charts when the kids are ill, and just random things that I stick on clipboards to use to organise my life. Because of course all these printables are available in my store, inside my membership, inside the Organised Life Club. Things like they're like pages that I put into my Organised Life binder. Of course, if you prefer to have actual planners, this was my previous favourite planner. It's the one I'm using at the moment, but as soon as I've finished using that one up, this is my brand new one, guys. My Organised Life Plan 2.0. I'm so excited. I'm going to very briefly show you this. It's got everything that I love from the original Organised Life Planner. The best bits of the Organised Life and Gratitude Plan. It's like the two had a baby and this has been born. I can't wait to start using it. Anyway, back to the tour. So yeah, printables. Some of those are free printables that you, in fact, I've organised these by these. These are free printables that you can get. That's the routine guide. I think if you go to mummyoffour.com/routine, you can get that. That's 100 Signs of Autism in Children. That is a printable that you can get to help you if you're preparing because your child's being assessed for autism. So I'll put the link for that down below. That's the birthday interview journal. They're questions you can ask your kiddos on their birthdays and have that little birthday tradition that we have. So I'll put all the details for those if you want any of those free printables below. But they're the free printables. And then these are printables for my Magical Adventures channel. So Disney Cruise Planner. These are the printable versions of them. Organised Mini Break Planner. Magical Trip Adventures Memories for Kids stuff. So that's all stuff for one specific channel. And then this is more like Organised Life printables from my Organised Life Club and from this channel. So that's the Autism Journey Journal. That is brand new. That's what the big project I've been working on to support parents with children going through autism assessments. But basically now I know where they all are because they're in the relevant boxes. That one is just empty one of those things for when I print out more stuff. Notebooks in there. They are a slimmed down amount of cards and keepsakes that'll eventually go into the memory boxes. And that's just paper for the printer. In here we've got, this is Organised Chaos, believe it or not. These are command hooks for when I need those, hole punch, my label maker, that kind of stuff. In here, more tape and more supplies like that. Portable fans and spare sticky notes in there. And the bottom drawer is empty because when I get my trip drinks or my energy, apparently healthy, energy drinks delivered from Amazon, if there are too many of them, I put them in there to store the overflow. I do need to tackle all of this. I really need to take all those bags off, clean over there, pull out every one of these 25 boxes, which I will be doing soon, but I cannot do today. I did, however, let's count my wins. Pull everything down there, clean all of that. All behind there is clean. And this space is just looking so much clearer. It probably doesn't look that different to you, but to me, like having these drawers organized so I can actually have the stuff that I need where I need it, flipping game changer. In here in these boxes, which are IKEA boxes, those are passes and things for theme parks. And then in here we've got, I'm not going to lift them all off, but they are stock of planners and things. I'll just lift one off, show you. Yeah, stock of planners and stuff that I need to have. But it's easier when you've got two hands, you're not holding the camera. So all that's cleaned and vacuumed. I did vacuum in here as well, just because it was annoying me. And in here, we've emptied all of these baskets. They can go away upstairs in the airing cupboard now. Stuff I'm throwing away. It doesn't look like loads and loads considering the amount I've done. But honestly, that room is so much more organised now. It makes me so, so happy. It's well worth it. So all of this is rubbish or recycling. All of those cords. Look how many of those cords. And GoPro batteries. From a GoPro, I don't even own anymore. Why do I need the batteries? I don't. All of these, every time you buy a hard drive, it comes with one of these blinking cables. That is not the connection that connects to my computer. So that's brilliant yet useless. All of that is paper recycling. All of this lot has to be shredded. Oh, and I have also got, all of those are headphones, all of them. So I'm going to put 1 or 2 sets in the car, just in case we need them as backups. Ask the kids if they want them, and if not, they can be recycled too. I'm going to see if Will needs any of these connectors to connect to his phone for when he is vlogging. Also, he might want that to connect various things to his iPad that he uses for vlogging and stuff. And I'm going to ask him if he needs any of those for his PlayStation. And if they're no good, I mean, that's 32 gig. That's not too bad. But just to give you an idea, a standard vlog that I publish will generally be about 16 gig of footage when it is published up to YouTube. So, you know, these tiny, like that, most of my vlogs are bigger than that. That's 16 gig. Ask him if he needs one for school or whatever. He might need one for school. I'm failing that. And they can be recycled too. If you haven't done it yet, by the way, make sure you do grab my Clutter-Free checklist. This is a 2-page, like a quick start, how to get clutter-free. I'm looking at one of the pages in my decluttering assessment that I wrote out originally at the beginning of my decluttering project, you know, my journey at the beginning of this year. So what have we actually tackled since we started? The playroom walking cupboard is done. Zara's room is done and all her bookshelves, and Bella's wardrobe actually. So all those that were considered really high priority, I have done. I've done all of those. I consider the office low priority, but I'm in here a lot. I'm glad I did this because somewhere I spend so much of my time, and ultimately if I'm finding it easier to find things, that's going to save me time, isn't it? So I'm glad I did that. We do need to go back and do the lounge calyx. Oh, did I do? Yeah, they need to be done. So we need to do Will's calyx, Bella's calyx, the playroom desk and Bella's desk are quite high priority things at the moment. But also the whole drawers, I would say, have moved up in priority because they've still got winter hats and things in at the moment. So I think one of my next decluttering projects is going to have to be there because, you know, it's flipping warm and summery at the moment. We want wintry stuff around, so that would be a really good one to do next. So click on the video on screen now to continue decluttering with me. Join me aside of my Organised Life Club for more accountability and planning, how to get organised, especially if you're in a neurospicy household, help with routine, all that kind of stuff. And I shall see you in there. Bye.